And to tell us more about this, Dr. Jung-yeop, a research fellow at the Sejong Institute, joins us in the studio today. So good to see you.
Thank you for having me today.
All right, so reports have been coming out on how North Korea and the U.S. have been holding direct and secret talks for the summit between Trump and Kim, and that Pyongyang has told Washington for the first time that it's ready to discuss the denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula with the U.S. So tell us more about these developments.
After our special envoy visited Washington, D.C. and told President Trump that North Korea had the intention to denuclearize itself, but since then, North Korea has not directly contacted the United States and did not mention about their intention to denuclearize. So many concerns about the sincerity of North Korea's proposal. But on Monday, on Eastern Time in Washington, D.C., the President Trump confirmed during his cabinet meeting that they have been meeting, North Korea and the United States have been meeting, and North Korea still mentions, directly mentions to United States that its intention to denuclearize. So I think that there had been concern when President Trump replaced its national security advisor and the Secretary of State with John Bolton and Mike Pompeo, who had been considered as a hawkish policy advocate toward North Korea. So there has been concern that maybe United States is not interested in having talks with North Korea. But President Trump confirmed that he's going to meet with North Korean leader maybe end of May or early June.
So all these talks over denuclearization have been surfacing, but how sincere do you think Kim Jong-un is when it comes to denuclearizing the Korean Peninsula?
Everyone hopes that he is sincere this time when he talks about denuclearizing North Korea. But other than he delivered a couple messages to our special envoy, he has not directly mentioned or he even not declare anything about denuclearization, and he has not shown any concrete actions about denuclearizing itself. Maybe it's one good thing that he has not done any nuclear test or missile test since the November last year. But we still need more to know whether he's really sincere this time to have a negotiation with the United States and international community, including South Korea. So that is why United States government has been arguing that North Korea's words should be matched by concrete actions by them.
And Japan's Yomiuri Shimbun, citing diplomatic sources, reported recently that Kim Jong-un is willing to completely denuclearize in return for a security guarantee from the United States. So what are your thoughts on this?
When Kim Jong-un mentioned about denuclearization to our special envoy when he met in early March, that he mentioned that when the security concern is gone on Korean Peninsula, North Korea can talk about denuclearization. So when he mentioned about security concerns, it usually means the U.S. forces on Korean Peninsula and the ROK-U.S. alliance. So if he insists dismantling of ROK-U.S. alliance and about the U.S.-FK, then it's going to be very difficult for the related parties to reach an agreement on denuclearization. So I don't know what he really means about security guarantee from the United States because in September 19 agreement, that there was a clause that United States does not have any intention to attack North Korea, and U.S. government position is not intended for regime change in North Korea. So other than that, we don't know yet what North Korea wants from the United States. But if North Korea insists about dismantling of ROK-U.S. alliance, it's going to be a very tough negotiation.
And there are also talks that North Korea might demand more economic aid, broad economic aid, as well as lessening of international pressure on its regime, and also that security guarantee in order for it to start denuclearizing or even to discuss denuclearization.
So that was the kind of tactics that North Korea has been employing long time ago when it does not have any sincerity on denuclearization. But United States and the international community believe that the reason why North Korea come back to the negotiating with South Korea and the United States is because they are under the pressure of international sanctions. Okay. So there is no incentive for the United States to give the lifting of sanctions first, even before North Korea discusses about denuclearization. So U.S. has been on the firm position that there is no present for just coming to the negotiation. Yes.
Yeah. All right. Now, the agenda for the Inter-Korean Summit scheduled for April 27th hasn't been set yet, but we have another high-level Inter-Korean meeting coming up next week. So would we see the agenda set up then during that meeting?
It might be very difficult for even at the high-level meetings that this are going to be discussed by the two leaders, because we don't know yet what kind of development that we are going to see between North Korea and the United States, depending on how far and how fast United States and North Korea can reach the agreement or even this negotiating about the denuclearization. We can also decide what can be discussed with the North Korean leader. Okay. Because we cannot say unilaterally to North Korea, because it doesn't mean anything to denuclearize North Korea this time. So we have to know what's going on between North Korea and the United States, and depending on the possible outcome of North Korea and the U.S. summit, we can also decide what can be achieved during the summit between two Koreas.
Now, at this point, we're wondering, what does denuclearization exactly mean for South Korea, the U.S., and North Korea? I mean, I'm sure that this word has a different meaning and significance for each of those countries.
So it is very clear for the United States. They always request for the CVID, complement, verifiable, irreversible dismantlement. So they want to get rid of all the programs related to the WMD. But from North Korean perspective, we have not seen any clear message on denuclearization. When North Korean leader already mentioned that this is in our constitution and this is my grandfather's will, and when they talk about denuclearization in early 90s, there was no nuclear weapons on North Korea. Only South Korea has deployed nuclear weapons from the United States. So the denuclearization means totally different thing in early 90s when they first talk about denuclearization of Korean Peninsula. So when they keep using the word denuclearization of Korean Peninsula, when South Korea does not have any nuclear weapons, it sounds a little bit strange to South Korean publics and even the observers. So we have to be very clear and find the exact word that what North Korea means by denuclearization. So that is why the negotiation this time is very important.
Now, the Nikkei newspaper reported last week that Kim Jong-un told Chinese President Xi Jinping that North Korea is willing to return to the six-party talks over North Korea's nuclear weapons program as well as missile tests. So what can we make of this decision?
The report has not been confirmed by any party, even including China yet. So we don't know whether it's true or not. But there is enough incentive for North Korea to use six-party talks. Because as North Korea is coming back to the negotiating table because of the pressure levied by the United States, when they have to have bilateral negotiation with the United States, they are going to be weaker in negotiating. So they need more supporters when North Korea negotiate with the United States. So that is why I believe that North Korea first approached South Korea, then China. And so when it comes to the multilateral settings, I think North Korea might feel much comfortable in that setting compared to its bilateral negotiation with the United States. I think that is why this kind of report came out.
Now, we know that North Korean Foreign Minister Ri Yong-ho is in Russia now to meet with his counterpart. What are the chances of us seeing Kim Jong-un meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin before all these important summits?
So we didn't know that the Kim Jong-un was going to meet Xi Jinping first place.
Right.
And the reason why Kim Jong-un met President Xi Jinping was that he needed a supporter in negotiating with the United States. And Russia might be also another good friend for the North Korea when it comes to negotiating with the United States. So I think the chances are much higher than before that Kim Jong-un might meet President Putin before the summit with President Moon Jae-in of South Korea. Or if timing does not comply with them, then at least at the latest before the summit with President Trump, I think Kim Jong-un is going to try to have President Putin on his side.
Better to have two than one, right,
Yes,
on his
yes.
side. Now, Japanese Foreign Minister Taro Kono will be arriving in Korea late today to meet with his counterpart Kang Kyung-hwa. And then what will be discussed during their meeting in regards to North Korea's nuclear weapons program and denuclearization?
Maybe Japanese Foreign Minister is going to discuss three things with our Minister Kang Kyung-hwa. First one is that they want to re-emphasize the talk about the Japanese abductee issues in negotiating with North Korea. And second, Japanese government is trying very hard to push for complete denuclearization of North Korea.
Just like the U.S.?
Yes, because Japan has been concerned about possible outcome which is short of complete denuclearization. So Japanese government is trying push hard and make a request to South Korean government to push for the same complete denuclearization of North Korea. And third, as discussions has been very rapid between North and South and the North and the United States, Japan looks like it's been like excluded in the discussion.
Right.
So probably Japanese government want to be looped in the discussion with the North Korea.
So going back to the preparations for the Inter-Korean Summit, what's left on the calendar until April 27th?
High-level talks are scheduled to be held, and also there should be another like working level meetings because there has been a lot of like detailed issues that has to be determined by two parties, like protocols and like secret services
Right.
and the media arrangement. Even though there has been like 4-hour meeting before these like working level meeting, working level issues, but it cannot be solved at the 4-hour meeting
Right.
or those detailed complexities. So I believe that before April 27th, we are going to have a series of working level meetings in military, government, and all different government agencies.
All right. Thank you so much for your insight today.
Thank you.